hello. Welcome in, Mac, Al, Zayman. How's everybody? Welcome in. I'm remembering a bot feature that I thought about incorporating but never bothered with because I'm not really 100% sure how it would work. Move the list of clips to move the list of clips to like an external JSON file, because right now it's just embedded in the HTML for that clip page that I've got built. It's just a local. Hello, Mr. Mike, welcome in. The clip code is like just a locally running thing, and it just loops through. It is already JSON, effectively. It's a JavaScript object, just embedded in the JavaScript. That could be extracted into JSON, and have it so that each clip has an ID. Exactly, that's all it is. There's probably some import, but that's the basic code. Let each clip have an ID that appears on screen when the clip is playing. I love invalid JSON. And then let people vote on them, like register clip votes. So you could say like, I like this clip or I don't like this clip, and then also let people let that be a free. Like, it just records your last vote per clip. So if you liked it, you can dislike it. If you like it again, nothing happens. It's still liked. I don't know what the liking would do. And then somehow working with HTML in OBS. Spams this. I mean, that's fine. He dislikes all the clips. The problem is I've got like a static HTML page that you can't. I can edit it between runs, and I've done this before. Is the old notification overlay was a static HTML page, and then every time that it was out of notifications to display, it would just refresh the page, which allowed it to pull in fresh data from the bot who was live editing the HTML. Wow, that was a bad solution, but it worked. Because I really love working with HTML for its for like CSS animations are nice and silky smooth, and it's very little overhead. It can be embedded within OBS with no additional plugins. I don't have to have any special software running in the background. Like if I did a Godot-based overlay, well, now it's on me to remember to launch it every time I'm streaming, which sucks. I would hate that so much. I already hate having to make sure to start the bot. That already sucks. So yeah, integrating the two would be difficult. But I was like, is there some way that I could have a system where you could like pay points to request a clip to be played? Huh? You know, like queue up like a jukebox. Willow, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. How was, what was it, Baby Kaizo? I saw you in somewhere very red. Any clears tonight? Leo and Captain, they gotta be separated. That's a great idea. And Theron, thank you for the 43 months. It's almost a year.
That's almost a year.
There we go. Cleared the Switch Palace. Nice, congrats. Good progress. I don't love that kind of thing. Scheduled tasks are fine in Windows until they're not. It just makes it more likely for something to be, forgotten when it's an off scheduled day, or the bot starts running when I'm not even doing a stream. Oh my gosh, we got the raid, we got the sub, we got the 60 stream streak. Congratulations for the 60 stream streak, Willow. That's 15 weeks. That's almost a year. Anyway, enough talking about bots and overlays. Forever. I think you'll find I'm not trapped in here with you. Okay. Dig. We're gonna diggy hole. Welcome in, Winterbeast. It's good seeing you again. All right, we're gonna diggy hole here. We're gonna make Mulma attack an enemy. Oh yeah, Al. Everyone used Cat Moore on SNES and 64 games. So it's going to be a while before you see the new category. Unreal Engine 5. It's a very pretty default setup, I will say. I personally, the two things that push me away from Unreal are it's a very heavy engine. Like it does a lot regardless of whether you need it to do a lot, which is fine. But personally, I really like low footprint games that don't come bundled with a lot of stuff. It's like if I make Pong, I don't want it to be in the gigabyte territory. That's an exaggeration, but that's kind of my hesitancy. The other thing is the main options for Unreal scripting, like code work, is either C++, which I don't know. I don't love C++. It's fine. Oh, welcome in, cats. There, I should probably have a game up instead of just like staring at the code. I'm talking about Unreal briefly before we get into it tonight. C++ is fine. I've never been particularly comfortable with it, and it's probably just lack of actually getting my hands dirty with it. I've done a lot of C#. I do a lot of C# at work. I've done a lot of my bigger home projects have been C#. And then, yeah, C++ is a good language, but I just don't have as much comfortable. I'm not at home in C++ yet. The other option you got for Unreal, as of the last time I gave it a swing, is Blueprint, which is like a node-based system. And, oh man, I don't like node-based stuff. Like, even with the shaders, I know visual shader setups are very powerful, but geez, something in my brain, I don't know. It's like, this isn't me writing code. This is me dragging and dropping nodes. What is this, Game Builder Garage? Give me the code. Let me copy and paste. Let me type at full speed. But yeah, it's anyway, that's my two main gripes with Unreal. Big bulky framework and the choices between C++ and Blueprint stuff, and I don't like either of those. Godot has C# support, but I actually decided to go all in on GDScript Well, that makes sense. It's approachable, which is great. That's really good. I just find myself to be less efficient in node systems. I guess it's like driving on the opposite side of the road or something. You know, it's a very different experience that instinctually I keep wanting to do it the way that I want to do it, which is a terrible circular argument, but hopefully that clarifies. All right, let's get these new battle moves going. They run like garbage. Oh no, Germ Dove. He's channeling Germ Dove. I didn't say which side was right there. I didn't say which side was right. Every game is made in Unreal these days. All right, so here's what you do. Here's what you do if you want to have a number one jam. First you plop a 3D character that's either vaguely photorealistic or extremely stylistic suck appearance. And then you plop it in some kind of physics-based world and make sure multiplayer is enabled, and you can do a silly emote at each other, and proximity chat. I gotta say, I genuinely do love proximity chat, and I wish every game had proximity chat. Give me a pig. Let me see pigs. Show me pig. Can you imagine Mario Maker with proximity chat? Okay, we have a new character, and that new character needs moves. Little Toadette did a little bit of testing today, and she actually found 2 bugs that are not present in the Steam version. The demo does not have the bugs, but it's good to catch that before it gets to the QA team. All right. There's no more delaying it. We have to actually write some code now. All right. So, in order, strike a pose, spin while digging down, or spin while sprite shifts down. 460. I don't know if she shows much interest in computer stuff. We'll see. A lot can change. There's no way to predict what she'll want to do when she grows up. She could use nodes. Everyone loves nodes. Switch on particle emitter. Walk or move toward enemy to arrive at set time. So maybe tween instead of do a normal move at speed, because then we'd have to calculate the speed, and who knows if that's going to be right. And then if success, some kind of particle effect underneath. I don't think I need to show her actually popping out. On enemy erupting rock, like a bunch of like debris and stones popping out of the ground. Between enemy up and down. while damaging. If we did not succeed, 0 damage. 0 damage sound. And then we're going to tween back to start position. Spin while shifting back up. Switch off particles. Spin while shift up, and then revert pose. And I think that's it. I mean, it's a lot, but I think we can do it. Phew. All right, well, let's see what happens then. Spin while sprite shifts down. Is there any instance of moving the sprites? Yes, there sure is right there. Fire a tween of move the position down. Doesn't have to go that far down. I think 1.5 is... Let's go with full 2. So tween down the position of the sprites. Also spin, which is going to be sprites rotation Y to pi times 2. Switch on particles. Yeah. Okay. Fire tween. So those are both gonna go for half a second. So we need a wait milliseconds. Teacher karate. Now we're talking. Now we got some ideas here. So 500 milliseconds of wait. Then switch on the particles. Set flag, right? Set flag of particles. Set the emitting flag to true. Make sure I'm using the right object, property, new value. Object, property, new value. Bind that. Okay, particles. Move towards enemy to arrive at a set time. This is going to be based a little bit on the action command. How are we going to do that? How are we gonna do that? Do we just time it well? This is where the action command needs to start. So maybe like start action command or load action command here, and then actually trigger action command start here. We can do that. And then we'll just have a set time that it takes. So let's also queue up start position equals source dot actor dot position. Target is, it's a single target attack. So we'll do that. So we'll fire a tween that takes, I think it should be a 3-second minigame. We might speed that up to 2.5 or something. So we're going to take the position of the actor and move it to the target's position. I think we want to go linear here. And then the tween doesn't matter as a result, since it's linear. Then we're going to trigger the action command to start, and then it's going to go, oh, dodge the rocks, what, little action command magic. Oh my gosh, it's Hudson, aka Zumba. Thank you for the Prime sub. 60 months.
Hello.
That's almost a year. Hudson, thank you so much. It's good to see you again. I was talking about Mario Maker 2, and I was like, you know what they really needed to add to that is proximity chat. I want to have voice chat with the other players that gets louder as I get closer, so that if I throw them into a pit, I just hear them go, no. Ah! Does the star make you go faster? Ah! Hang on, I gotta pull up that clip. Because it's good. That one clip. That one clip. With Hudson. Clip featuring Hudson. There's no way to search. There's no way to filter clips by category, and I think that's terrible. This is GermDove's third most popular clip, which, that's great. Let's all gather round. Let's all gather round.
I think you do. I might be wrong. Pick up faster with the star. Pick up faster with the star. I think you do. I might be wrong.
Anyway. Ah! It was good. It was good. I don't know what happened to the audio, but it was like it came through GermDove's mic a second time or something. So you get this reverb as he's falling to his death. Oh man, 3D World was really fun. And like, you know, 3D World is actually a good Mario game. 3D World is a pretty good Mario game. It's solid. I love that it's basically Mario 2, but like, you know, made as a mainline Mario game of present day. It's really good. It was really good. And then they added multiplayer in the Switch version. Like network multiplayer. And gosh, that game lends itself to causing mischief. Being a rascal, as one may say. It's a fun game to kill your friends. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, there's GermDove now. Particle effect. Particle effect. Particle effect. What? What? Hey, what? What? Ah. There you go. Okay, all right, all right. All right. All a bunch of rascals. You know it. .30 World was a blast. Okay, move it to this plus. 1.0 over a period of a quarter second. That feels right. So that means you gotta wait 250 before moving him down. Ease in, ease out. Right? Which one first? Might Rock would be a good. You ease out to go up and you ease in to go down. Easy. Okay, then we need to bring our brave partner back. So we have her lerp to start position, but significantly faster. Switch off the particles. Turn those to false, but not until we get home. So wait until we get home, turn off particles, and then spin again. Maybe this works. Is this good enough? Spin and rotate up at the same time. Wait for it to be done. And there you go. Beautiful. Right here, we're going to cue hurt actions on the enemy. We're assuming that we've done damage here. From target to source, type. Melee? It is a melee attack, I guess. And we're gonna say it's an underground type attack because I want some enemies to take extra damage from underground. Specifically, the Might Rocks, the like anything that's got higher defense from having like a rock on its head that it's hiding under. Obviously, if you dig underneath it, that's not gonna work. So perfect. Amount of damage, it's just gonna do base damage. So 0 additional damage. Cause she's, oh wait, no, 1 additional damage. It's either gonna do no damage or it's gonna do 2 damage. So we're gonna give, if you succeed, you deal a bonus damage. But there's no damage on a failure. Okay, I think that is all we need for that. Let's get in a fight. Get in a fight? Let's get in a fight. It's gonna be balloon pigs, isn't it? So let's do a battle setup here. Give me some pigs. Oh, no. Yeah. Give me some pigs. Switch over to the correct partner. And let's fight in the greens kind of place here. There we go. All right, let's see if this works. All right, where do we fail? Start out with base object action. How did I get action? Actor. Come on now. Other thing I noticed is the cost should be free. It should be a free attack. No mono. All right, change partners. All right, next up. Target dot actor dot position. The target is an amorphous blob of data. The actor is a character body that exists in the world. And the sooner I can remember that, the better. Whoop. Molma, what are you doing? All right, what It all went wrong pretty quick. Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, we have to wait. Because I was going to wait for success here. Or wait for the action command to end. It's not like a big secret. Because, I mean, it will come up. And it's not that interesting, so don't get your hopes up. I think this needs to be faster, because what if you just fail right away? Oh, this is going to be brutal in hard mode. These guys are going to be rough. She did spin. She didn't spin on the way back up. And that's because I set this to 0, because I thought she would still be at flipped around mode. But no. Okay, so she probably needs a little... Can I do anything with her victory animation? No. Her jump no, we're not going to use that. Nah. That's a weird one. She'll just stand there. She'll just stand there. She'll just spin. But I do want her to spin more. Let's make it pi over 4. Okay, so take the pose out. We're going to need an action command. We got to do an action command. We need to do a weakness system. I don't think we have that yet. I don't think any unit has that. Weak? No. No. We have resistance. So we're gonna add weaknesses. And it does need to be an object. And it'll be something like... how is this object going to work? Give me a good... What does resistance look like for this? Like... resistance is just a list of status effects. So that's not super useful. Weaknesses needs to be like, okay, if you take damage from something like underground damage or fire damage, when we add that as a elemental something or other. If you take underground type damage, then see, I could just do something as simple as then you deal 3 extra damage, but that's not really what I want to do, is it? What I want to do is I want to say the attack becomes piercing. Like the attack ignores all defense. Does that make sense though? Like the attack gains a trait if you match a weakness. Gaining a trait. Win to win. Which to win. Now, then again, let's take the example of Hard Hat. It has on damage, reduce damage. So weakness could be done in the same way and say that that's an on damage effect. On damage, underground damage, reduce damage negative. Should I just do reduce damage? But by how much? But I don't really want to reduce damage. I just want to turn it to piercing because I want it to bypass both the natural defense and the block defense if it's blocking. The Cactites don't block, but it could come up. On underground damage, what if I just say piercing? Just piercing equals true. That's a weird one. Let's see where on damage gets used. Let's see here. Get final damage amount. This is where we calculate in the reduced damage stuff, and then later we look for piercing, I believe. Yeah, there's piercing. So there's our damage type, and then we check for piercing. So we could, hypothetically, do some kind of like iteration through the on damage check and say add flags. I've got a document on damage notes. Battle notes? Yeah. Flags that you can have on a damage instance. A damage could be stealthy, piercing, flat damage, blow. Yeah. So I could say, on this, like, normally this attack is, well, piercing is the only one that makes sense to add on something. You wouldn't add diminishing or remove diminishing for certain types. Not unblockable, not flat damage, not stealthy. Why would you ever have a case where, like, oh, if the enemy's asleep, then this attack doesn't wake them up unless it's this particular type? That would only apply to a that'd be weird. That'd be weird. But these are all true falses is the thing. So we could have I could give it some kind of I'm just trying to decide how to actually arrange this so that we don't have to build out a more complicated system later. Quest 64. Yeah. I could see on taking underground damage, add tags or add flags. And then that itself is an object that gives additional flags that could already be on the damage instance, but we're adding it on anyway. Camel tree. Okay, so add flags is what we're going with. The damage dictionary will include something called add flags. Instead of reduce damage, we are looking for add flags. So, new flags equals reduction dot get damage type. Reduction, replace that with damage modifications, or just modifications. And then there's our damage reduction. And new flags is modifications dot get add flags or empty object. For new flag key in new flags, take our damage object, our damage instance. Is this the place to do this? I do remember found levels. I loved found levels. Well, I mean, did I enjoy found levels? Like, objectively, no. But it's just nice to see. It's just nice to see when you blaze through Kaizo. It's just really nice to see you struggle with hard traditional. New flag key equals new flags, new flag key. Is this the place to put this? Like, get final damage amount is used here. Do we look at the damage instance before that? No, we do not. Perfect. It's nice to see. Nice opinion. Okay, I think that does it then. That is how we're gonna handle that a specific damage type can trigger something like the piercing effect. Okay, good, 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 good. Let's mess with it then. I'm gonna give it the wrong tag to start with. I'm gonna intentionally give it the wrong tag because I want to see how much damage she puts out on these guys. Brrr. 1 damage. Beautiful. Because it has defense. Now, she has underground. These guys don't have the special weakness yet. Hold on. On damage, underground adds. There we go. Because her attack shouldn't get piercing on everything. It should get piercing on things that are defended from the surface level with a tender underbelly. Hey, Liari. 2. It does 2 now, but only because she can bypass this guy's defense specifically, because he has a special flag that says when taking underground damage, add piercing to the attack's damage calculation. That's flexible. That's useful. It might not be useful, but it's flexible. It's future-proofed for later systems. So this add flags is now a keyword that we can throw in for on damage. So if this enemy takes underground type damage, then add piercing as an effect to the damage. Hey, I've already used it on like 3 enemies here. I've already used it on like 3 enemies here. The question is, will I ever use it for anything other than piercing? I doubt it. I can't think of any other flag that I would want to add to it. Because really, the only other thing I could think of is instead of add flags, I could just have an add damage. Because like, oh well, if it's a fire attack, if you take fire damage, then take, I don't know, double damage. Double damage? Oh, then you got to start thinking about order of operations. Do you double the damage first before resistances and all that other stuff? Crimson Rubes. Hi, Mr. Cat. Okay, that takes care of that. Next up, we need an action command. Ooh, action commands. Action commands hard. I mean, they're not the worst, but... New folder. Burrow. Rube sounds right to me. Okay, how does an action command work? It's gotta have pizzazz. You gotta be able to await the result. You gotta be ready to action command start. Now that loads it. That's different from what we want. Show me player moves. Is it player moves that we want to deal with? Brr. It's something with action command. Here's where we can set the state. Here's where we can set the state. Which that's important. You're so right. Holy cow, you're so right. Bring out the lizards. Bring out the lizards. Oh, all right. We're gonna soapbox. Let's talk about engines. Let's talk about my experience with different engines. And let's preface it with the age-old disclaimer. This is my experience. It's not going to apply to everybody. Other people are going to have different experiences with different engines, and that's totally fair. What works for one person may not work for another. Trigger action command start there. So, first off, one of my favorite things to do, build it from scratch. Don't use an engine. I've used that for a handful of tiny experimental games where I'm like, I've got a weird idea. And also, I don't want to get into an engine for this. I'm just going to hack it out in JavaScript in a few hours instead of spinning up a project. It's going to be a few megabytes in size just for the scaffolding and yada, yada, yada. I love JavaScript. I love just doing a little bit of inline JavaScript in a blank HTML document and just like, boom, there's my game. But of course, that's extremely limited for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is rendering in HTML is, of course, not super performant, and it's very dependent on browser.
Nerding out over coding.
Is that what you meant to do? I don't think that's what you meant to do. I don't think that's what you meant to do at all. Moonrover was vanilla JavaScript, and that was a pretty complete experience. People put a lot of time into trying to be the best at that. That was a fun project. It was a very fun project. Dabble Worlds was TypeScript, I believe. Yeah. Dabble Worlds was TypeScript, so that was a little bit more safe. But again, you run into performance issues pretty quick. Portability is nice, but it's not 100% accurate between different browsers. Chrome, for instance, if you're doing canvas draws, you're going to get a lot better performance out of Chrome, which is, it's Chrome. Okay, so that's building your own engine. You have so much control, and it's fun. It's fun to build an engine. That's like one of my favorite things to do. But it's a lot of effort, and you're not going to get as great performance with the end product as something that people have like really poured their entire lives into. Unity. I did some Unity years back. A few small test projects, and then one Steam release, Pen Pals, which was a Sweek 'em Up. The ball match game, watermelon game, etc. Except it was farm animals, and there were a lot of silly gimmicks. Unity was fine. Performance, no complaints on performance. It's very heavy. It's kind of like going between like MS Paint and then Photoshop. It's like, all right, if you want to work on this, you need to get a snack, because we're gonna load up an application if you want to start editing a game here. Unity's heavy, and maybe that's a little bit better in more recent versions, but yeah, it's rough. I mean, it's fine. Okay, so Unity was okay, except it was a few years ago when the whole rigmarole. There was some tomfoolery going on where they were starting to try and claim fees off of games where there was no contract for that. You can't retroactively change a end user license agreement and expect that to work. And of course they were like, oh, we're just kidding. It was that was my little brother. My little brother had the Twitter account. We're not actually doing that right now. All in all, that just makes me worry about the direction that Unity is heading. So I've just put some distance. The engine, at least what I used a few years back, was fine. Nothing crazy. It's definitely got lots of support. Well, they needed to make a sacrifice, of course, to appease the crowds that were calling for blood. I don't actually know what the end result of all that was. That was enough for me to very nice, Germ Dove. Unreal. I talked about Unreal earlier tonight. Again, very heavy. Very heavy. And that's not just the editor. That's the games that get spit out. This is a recurring problem for me when I'm dealing with any modern framework. If you want to build a program that prints Hello World, if you try to do that in Unity, like, what is if you just want, okay, just print some text to the screen, no user input, just print text to the screen, and you go with the, straightforward approach of drag some text on the screen, make it say Hello World, deploy, export this as a game. Well, it's that you're gonna wind up with like this is an exaggeration. This is for comedic effect. You're gonna wind up with 2 gigabytes of garbage to pull up a fully realized 3D skybox with real-time reflections and anti-aliasing and 12-point Times New Roman Hello World in the corner. And that of course is a bit of a cherry pick scenario. No one's obvious. No one's actually going to do that. Unless there seems to be this. Is it a problem? Is it just a? It's not on purpose. There seem to be a lot of cases where you hear the word slop thrown around a lot, and I want to say what people were getting at with that is, do you remember several years back, about the time it was about the time Yooka-Laylee was first shown off, and then people were saying like, that's Unity garbage right there, and I think what they were meaning was, this is using the default settings of the game engine that it was made in for lighting, shading, whatever, and as a result is very recognizable by that default. I think that's a common thing in Unreal projects, and I'm sure at Unity as well, is that, hey, I'm making a silly cartoony game, but because I'm not very experienced with everything, I'm leaving all the defaults, and so it's got these like weird real-time reflections and volumetric clouds, and it's the default Unreal Engine look. And I think that has led to a lot of cases where games that should be very small little experiences that shouldn't take but like, I don't know, 100 megabytes or something tops, are coming in at like multiple gigs. I mean, 100 megabytes is huge. That's ridiculous. How much is 3 chapters of Paper Robot? Paper Robot, the latest Steam build, zipped up to 95 megs. And I am taking some shortcuts. I am not optimizing for file space or anything. So the heft of Unreal has kind of gotten a bit of a bad rap, but maybe a little bit deserved. But part of that is on the developers that are using it. And then one more thing before we get back on track, and that is I just suck at C++. I just suck at C++. I'm a C# guy. I like C#. I like JavaScript. Makes me a weird one. If you want to do raw code in Unreal, it's typically going to be C++, and your other major option is Blueprint. And I hate nodes. I hate working in nodes. I want to write text on a screen and have that turn into results. I don't want to drag and drop boxes and pull this over here. No, I want to set the variable to a value and then use the variable in an equation. I get there are advantages to nodes, but use your own engine to make games. That is good, yeah. Because then you can see where the weaknesses are, where you need more power. Dove doesn't like nodes. Weird. Who knew? Dove doesn't like a lot of things. Let's be fair. So anyway, I tried out Godot a few years ago, and it's got its warts. It's a primarily volunteer project. It's got issues, and I know where they are now. I know what to watch out for. It feels nice and lightweight to start a new project on it. It does start to get a little bit sluggish when the project gets big, but I'm not making anything AAA here. This is firmly indie territory. It's about as independent as you can get. I am the studio. And Casual makes music. Thank you, Bach, for the posy party. Look at all those colorful posies. Where's Posy? Where's real Posy? She's laying on the floor. I gotta actually show you guys this, if I can stand up without alerting her. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get let's see if I can get a view of Posy here. Let me switch to the big camera. All right, here we go. I don't want her to wake up. She's currently passed out on a pile of Legos. We took her for a late night walk. And I guess that really took it out of her or something. What are we doing on this scene? Get this guy out of here. There we go. Yeah. Let's see here. Love C++, not confident. Good enough to edit to use it on a project if that makes sense. You stick to C sharp. JavaScript, yes. Java. Okay, I have had to work in Java a few times, both way back in college, a long time ago. Maybe the tools are better. And I did a little bit of hobby projects in Java when I was trying to build up just brush up on my skills before getting a big boy job. And then I've had to use it like once or twice professionally in like the last 10 years. And every time I've had a terrible time with Java. I don't think it's the language. I think I just hate the tools I've used every time. The JetBrains stuff was okay because we had like the enterprise license and that made it bearable. But like, oh gosh, I hate it. I wrote a Minecraft chatbot back before the days of LLMs. So it was basically just looking for key phrases, but that was a fun little project. Doublenauts. Is that what we're going with? Doublenauts. Never written a C++ project. Can't blame you. Oh, geez. It's just classic ANSI. I haven't done that in ages. Oh, I don't know if I would remember how to manage memory on my own. Garbage collection is nice. Let's see. Dog. Back massager. Yeah, T-Posy. Okay. All right. Okay, good question. I like C#. Why not use it in Godot? Okay. I have my reasons, and they may not have been the best reasons. My thought was, and maybe this was a terrible idea. It's like, okay, their main deal with their project is that they've got this, this is the actual script for Godot. Maybe it's got better resources available, like tutorials will be more likely to feature GD script rather than C# because that's the thing, that's the Godot thing. So maybe there's more information out there available. And at the time I was like, you know what? I may as well learn a new language anyway. And then it turned out it wasn't even a new language. It was just Python with a code paint. Yeah, the syntax is fine. I'm not even that much of a Python guy, so the differences don't even bug me. I will say what does bug me is the ternaries. Ooh, ternaries. A VS Code handy. You are killing me with the phrase of VS Code Andy. Posey just woke up. Python with paint. It is! It's just Python! Come on. It is just Python. You can't tell me otherwise. Alright, she laid back down on the Legos. Great. She's fine with it. Right, we were doing action commands. We were about to make an action command. I think. I gotta remember how we need to do that. What's a good example one? A single one. Meter timing. No. Fill and release. Here we go. All right. This is gonna be our example action command. This is an action command. I have not tried mono develop. No. What's the I've basically just been rolling off of just Visual Studio Community and VS Code. I don't use VS Code for C#. I just use Visual Studio Community. It's fine. I don't need. I have very simple needs for my stuff. Let's see what we're gonna do here. What is the mono engine? I'm thinking of what is mono engine? Am I familiar with mono engine? I'm gonna Google it as if looking at a picture of it is gonna be like, oh, of course. No, I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm looking at here. Python object document mapper for working with MongoDB. Wait, no, that's not what I searched for. No, I want mono engine. Third-party source engine. Source engine branch. A modified version of. Oh, it's Valve. Modified version of Left 4 Dead 2 engine branch. Huh. Huh. Just build it all yourself, Dove. That's what all real developers do. Mono game. Okay. Everything you've typed so far has been a real thing. Mono game. Framework, cross-platform games. I do need to think about cross-platform games. Use editor of choice. Yeah. Open source. Licensed under Microsoft Public except for a few portions of the code. That's weirdly specific. And also extremely vague at the same time. No licensing costs, royalty payments, runtime fees. Yeah. Okay. So it's an engine. That might be something worth looking into. Hey, Avenel, welcome in. Oh gosh, they're the lizards. They're back again. Okay, we really need to make at least one action command so I can have one move completed tonight. Jeez. This is why I can't have viewers, is I start to talk to chat and then I get really sidetracked. All right, I need gloves. My hands are getting cold, so the fingerless gloves are going on, but the sleeves are being rolled up at the same time for ventilation on the elbows. This is the optimal game-making setup. I saw the headline and I did not look into it because I was like, there's nothing I'm going to learn of value from reading this article. There's nothing I could possibly enjoy about whatever this article is about to say about Toyota TM. Well, the trick is I get a lot of development done on my non-streaming nights. So I like to make the stream nights about more artsy, like, let's build some stuff in Blender. Let's arrange some things in this level. Let's draw a new character. Let's read the article on stream right now. Great, cool. Okay, so it needs. Okay. That one's fine. Special hint button. Yep. No, I'm a full-time software dev for big faceless corporation that sells poison or something. But in my spare time, I'm just completely lifting that wholesale from Felix. Felix Cos... I don't remember his last name. How do you help with... You know what? A lot of the dry bristles brush in Krita or whatever, really fun for texturing. Like every texture in the game, like it is. This is a bad example. Everything looks the same here. What's a good example scene where things look nice and pretty? Some of the, I don't like how this is like in the shadow, so it's like really hard to read this, but like a lot of these textures here, it's just muddy stuff. It's like very gentle textures. It's like nearly solid colors, but like there's just a little bit on it. Just a little bit of pattern on it. I've been reusing the same texture since chapter 1 at this point. And I don't know. It's fine. It's probably fine. Yeah, like just it's like little painterly splotches, like brush strokes everywhere. I love the brush strokes look. I'm worried it's too subtle, but it's probably fine. Okay. So true. You see, because... Okay, so the idea is this is going to be like... a little mini game thing for digging. It's going to represent digging. We're going to call this Burrow Navigate. Sure. And there it is. It's done. Incredible. No. I don't think we need that. Maybe we will. No, we don't need anything at the end. We don't have any lights. Hint button is gonna be, I guess we'll have a hint for up and down, but it's not gonna. All right, 9 patch. Correct. I want this to be bigger. I want the back texture to be bigger also. It's gonna be like a little adventure, like, oh, there's some obstacles, you gotta avoid them. And it can be pretty quick. It doesn't have to be a long thing. This, we're going to duplicate this. I do believe. Okay, back texture. This is the this is the clip. That's the clip. Yes, we'll do something like this. We'll do something like this. And then make this one kind of a brownish, like it's dirt. You're digging through the dirt, digging through the layers of dirt. And then rocks. There'll be little rocks that are coming by. Okay. This is fine. Are we gonna do it with like maybe this should actually be more of a very light white here, and this should actually be darker. So we'll have like a little icon of Molma, her head, moving from left to right. Let's get a checkerboard pattern at the end. Can you do a... This would be a silly idea. No. Do we have a checkerboard texture? We don't? We don't? You're kidding. We need a checkerboard texture. It's true. Incredible. This is one of my favorite town songs that Casual has put together so far. All right. New image. It's going to be small. It's going to be 50 by 50. I could probably go smaller than that and be fine. Look at that texture. Wow, incredible. You gotta have checkerboards. This goes under geometry. Checkerboard BW. Check out my skills of an artist. My geometry folder is full of things like circle, square, fat star. So where's the checkerboard? Where did I save the checkerboard to? Where did it go? Oh, I see it now. It's the checkerboard shaped one. Makes sense, makes sense. Good old Dart. I haven't done anything in Dart. I can't say anything about it. There we go. Is there are we doing some scaling? Oh, we sure are. Oh, you can't do that. I mean, I guess you can, but you shouldn't. Just... Oh. Well, I just assumed... Huh. I'm sure there's some way to just have this as a... What if we change type? No, because then it's a... Oh, wait. There we go. That's more like it. And that way we don't have to do any transform stuff. Now, admittedly, these are now, like, way over in the wrong place, but... it's workable. Oh, but... Huh. There we go. So this can actually just... This can overfill, and that's fine. Overfill is quite all right here. This texture, I want to do repeat. Oh, here we go. Repeat enabled. Why aren't you... Stretch mode. Keep. No, well, keep, but... Come on. Come on. Repeat. I don't actually want you to stretch. Yeah, I saw the joke. Don't worry. I saw it. I just didn't laugh. You see. For reasons. Tile. There we go. That's what I wanted. Tiling. Okay, that's decent. Okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Okay, now I need to make another image. I need to get Molma. I need to get her head. So let's open Dabbletails, menus, combat menu, icons. Oh, look at all these beautiful icons. Look at these placeholders in some places, namely this right here. There we go. Okay, next up, Molma. And also, yeah, let's grab this to make sure we're positioning things correctly. Actually, I mean, considering, like, all things considered, what if I just, shush, it's fine, it's fine. What if I just... I just grab it from the game and clean it up. No, let's not. We can't do that. We can't do that. That would be awful. Okay, we're just going to position her correctly. So we want the glasses to be in roughly the right spot. Oop. It's like that. It's like a Mario Party minigame. That's her. There she is. Now we copy. Switch window. Oh my gosh, she's huge. She's like slightly too big compared with like the others. There we go. That's a bit more the right. That's it. That's it right there. Okay. All right, now get me a sprite. You, get me a sprite. 300, 200, 100, 100. There she is. Looking good as always. Okay, so she needs to be in the back texture so that she gets clipped. We gotta get her clipped a little bit there. We are gonna scale her down a bit. And she'll just kind of, ooh, well, these lanes. If I want her to be looking okay there, it would be like that. And then this would probably be closer to 0.5. Yeah, there we go. Okay, a rock. We're gonna need some sort of rock obstacles for her to dodge. I can think of some mean, hard versions of this that include like randomly stuff comes like flying in from across the screen. But for the most part, it's just gonna be like 3 or 4 obstacles in the way. Nothing crazy. Enough to make sure that you have to use, well, that you can't just stick to one lane. You have to do some dodging. At least a little bit of dodging. All right, what about, what's the rock gonna look like? I don't have a good rock icon, do I? But with a little bit of imagination, we could have rock. This would be a Polygon 2D. All right. It's your imagination here. Wait a second, I do have a great rock. I've got a great rock. Change type, sprite 2D. Look at that. It's on the Might Rock sprite sheet. Now that is a great obstacle. It's a little bit big. And then maybe we modulate it a little bit darker, get it to stand out a bit more. What does this do? What is this target state? Should player be pressing this button? Oh, right, I know what that's for. Okay, so we don't need the special type of hint button. We just need a regular hint button. No, we don't, because I need it to, yeah, I need a hint button. Not a, Ooh. Target state is pressed. Should full bright when, oh, well, no, this is probably fine. This is probably fine. I just do one of these. And then another one here. We'll line it up with the edges there. This target is up. This one is down. Is it hold or is it tap? Like tap, 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 like switch lanes. Is it tap to switch lanes or is it hold to switch lanes? If we do hold, that means we can never go beyond 3 lanes, which might be fine. But if we want to have like an advanced version of the move that she gets later, like a level 2, level 3, it could either just be more rocks or it could also be more lanes. I feel like tap is more likely to make sense. In fact, I also want to do this, I think. Give a little like fake lanes there. All right, our rocks. They will be positioned somehow automatically. So rock and player icon. Okay, so we want to start at about 200. Okay, so this needs its own script, of course. It's going to be similar to the meter fill and release. Do. Hey, it's broken in half. Welcome in, casual. Take a seat. Oh, you have one. Never mind. We don't need to highlight the button. There will need to be a sound effect. That's me. Timer, no. Just casually took it. Wah, wah, wah. This is fine. Result is the important one. We have to change that to whether or not you get a success or a failure. -1 means it's currently going on. We swap that for a 0, usually for success, and 1, or 0 for failure, 1 for success, but it could be a 2, a 3. The actual number doesn't matter. It's just we're listening for something that's not -1 from here. All right, ready up. We want to know the rock. We want to know the icon. We want to have rock X's. It's going to start at 200. We'll append a few more randomly. Lane Y's are at 70 for the middle lane. Obviously, it's GameCube Nintendo. And a difference of 40 pixels per down. All right. So first off, we need to randomly generate some rocks. We're gonna add 4 rocks. We're gonna add 4 rocks. I never want to allow all of the rocks to be in the same position. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a deck, a shuffly deck. For I, well, let's see here. I is going to equal to 0. lanes to add is either going to be 0, 1, or 2. First, actually, no, this is easy. While lanes to add is less than rock count to add, lanes to add dot append array 0, 1, 2. So if we need 3 rocks added, we're going to shuffle the numbers 0, 1, and 2. If we need 4, we're going to make our array 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. This just makes sure we have enough to cover it completely, but no more, because I don't want to get like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and that's it. I want to make sure it forces 0 and 1 to show up. All right, so now we've got our lanes to add. Utility shuffle array. Does this actually do it in place? I think it does. I don't think I need to set lanes. And now, while rock count to add is greater than 0, we're going to start adding some rocks. New rock equals rock dot duplicate. Rock dot add sibling new rock. Rock dot position equals. Here's where it gets tricky. We need our initial rock position. We can just do rock dot position dot x. Let's see here. How much do we need to add? I think it's okay if we get a situation where there's like 2 very close to each other, but that could make for a very awkward third one. So we want to make sure it's at least mostly doable to do a quick maneuver if you have to. 200, like maybe like this. How much is that? 80. Feels like slim, but we're gonna figure out the yeah, we'll figure out how. So minimum 80. Maximum 120. You know what? I considered that and then I decided not to. So there's your answer. Also, I can't allow you to go too far. So we need to clamp our X iter to some kind of max X here. Max X of 550. So let's see here. With the minimum distance, min x distance equals 80. Max x distance is going to be 120. We can calculate how much we can feasibly squeeze in and then clamp it a bit. So we could say, all right, I still need to add, this many rocks. I got to squeeze in this many rocks. I have, at a minimum, min x distance times rock count to add. That's the minimum distance I have remaining. how far is that from the end? Max X minus this. So 550 minus 80 minus 80 minus 80, whatever. That is as far up as we can go. That is the limit for this particular rock. So iter X equals clamp iter X. Don't let it go any less than 0. It doesn't matter. But this is the max value for the iterate. So then set it to vector 2 iter X Y. The mysterious Y. Y. Y is going to equal lanes to add, pop either, doesn't matter. That's an index into lane Y's value, and there you go. There's our Y value. Okay, and that will add our rocks to whatever position that we need. And it will also store a list of rock. This should be rock positions, I think. Or, I don't think I want this. I don't think I want this variable at all. I think I just want to compare the rock. I guess the rock can have a little area. Or do I manually check bounds of rock? No, let's have a little listen area. With a little collision shape on there. Circle. And you get a little circle. And you listen for each other. I guess no. The rock does not listen. The player listens for hitting a rock. All right, so there you go. So since this is the one that actually has the mask value, this one's the one that's actually looking for things. Well, now I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one gets it. Requires monitoring to be set to true. Come on, connect, connect. Process is going to be a mess. Monitoring is set to true. Okay, good. All right, so this readies up the rocks. Great. Get rid of all of this. Burrow. Partner moves. Action command path is officially this. So now we need to actually instantiate the action command right here. And then we set the state to 1 here. We don't have a state value yet, but now we do. Great. Let's see what happens. Yay, she has an icon now, which is huge. All right, yep. Pretty obvious problem there. Hey, look at that. That looks less than 80. But that is navigatable. But that definitely was less than 80. Why is that so much less than 80? That should be 80 right there. So what happened? It was right next to it. I'm wondering if it was this clamping. I'm willing to comment out the clamping to see if that's what made all those rocks clump. All right, Molma, get out here. Also, let's add just a really quick print the iteration. Okay, that looks a lot better, like significantly better. So now I feel like I don't even want it. So what was our ads? Like 100 and something, 90 something, 86. Yeah, that's fine. I guess we don't need to do this clamping. I think even if this was all like too far, that's okay. All right, now we need to actually process it. It needs to actually run. There will be some kind of thing going on. If state equals 1, then we're actually, well, let's see here. If state equals 0 or state equals 1, then let's respond to inputs. Up will move us up a lane, down will move us down a lane. We're going to index this. We're going to say player lane index. We're not going to store the Y value. We're going to jump into the array to grab that. So we're going to say if you pressed up, player index minus equals 1. If you press down, player index plus equals 1. Simple enough. And then we're going to clamp it for boundaries. Player lane equals clamp. Clamp at 0 minimum. Maximum is size of the array minus 1. Additionally, we will always want to lerp our Y value of our player icon. Position.y. We're gonna lerp. No, let's do a move toward. Lane wise. Player lane index. That's the one. And the speed. It's a difference of 40, was it? Faster than a second, then, would be good. So let's say 80 for a half second. Let's go an even 100. Let's go an even 100. All right, and then we're going to do something different when state is 1 that may involve checking for stuff. And then we're going to end by tweening the whole thing off screen and then deleting it. If state is 1, then we need to actually start scooting the player forward. The distance to cover. What's the distance to cover here for this player here? We're starting at roughly 30. We're traveling to end point. We're gonna say right here at 685. Let's actually add that in. I'm not going to bother adding a node. Like, I think the right way to do this would be you would add a node to represent the ending position, put an area there that the player has to hit, but I just like to see the numbers in the code. I know that's bad practice. I just want to know they're there. 38 is our start position. Total runtime. This is actually dependent on the move itself. We've got this moving for 2 full seconds. Start X and index. Timer is only going to go up when we're in state 1. So we are going to basically do a lerp. A lerp would be perfect, right? From start X to end X, the ratio is going to be our timer divided by our runtime, total runtime. Yeah, I think that's everything we need for that. Let's see that run. It should actually, I want to see some print lines of us hitting the boulders. Maybe the boulder should spin. Oh, right. Yep, sorry. You got me. I left in some copy-paste code from the other action command. I just needed to scaffold it. Whoa! She's gone. She's gone. I did get 2 tests there, so it did actually trigger that. She's gone. Timer is measured in seconds, and total runtime is measured in seconds. I said plus equals. I just need to set the position, not add to it. Okay, that's fine. Now we know that this actually does recognize hitting a boulder. If that happens, then we're just going to set the state of the minigame to 2, let's say. Let's say that is a fail state. And if our position, well, actually, more realistically, if our timer ever reaches our total runtime, then we are in a success state. Let's see here. I guess what we would do is, in this case, we will set result equal to 0, as in you failed the action command, you get 0 damage. However, if we hit this, then we are done. We can set our result equal to 1. You did it. You get 1 extra damage for doing a good job. We're so proud of you. And then we are going to I would additionally like to set the state to a value that will not be processed. And then we need to do a container. Container is this right here. We need to move the container off screen quickly. And then when the container is off screen, delete it. And the action command is gone. Okay, good. So now we need to actually check for success. Oh, wait. Well, no, that should work. That should work. Await action command result. It should already be done at this point. But who knows? Let's see here. So if result equals 0, then append a new action queue. featuring well, no, let's do this. Final actions is an array. And then regardless of the result, we're going to append these actions to our queue of actions, our queue of queues. Final actions, append array. So append these actions, whatever they may be, and then if result is 1, a success, then append these actions, and then regardless, append the return to start position actions found here. Okay, so here is our success actions, which is deal damage, do a little particle effect that we haven't done yet. Otherwise, basically do nothing. Q, no damage. It is still melee, so it will trigger if the enemy has any effects that trigger off of a melee attack attempt, whether or not it does damage. This action will trigger that, but it should not ever trigger any possible damage. All right, that may work. That may do it. Let's test a few. Let's test a few runs here. All right, change out to Mulmaw. Oh. It's still up. She moves a lot faster than I expected her to, for one thing. Oh. Oh. Okay, so one thing is, she doesn't move up and down as fast as I would like. Why did this not ever queue free? Why did it not move? Because it was a failure. On pass or fail. So we're gonna move this out into a function and call it in both cases. There we go. So that way that should work. Don't need you, I need you. We're gonna reduce the size of these little collision shapes, make it a little bit nicer. Also, we're gonna increase the speed that she switches lanes. All right, let's try this again. Ooh, that's a little scary. Ow, 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 ow. You only have to block the first instance of those. Ooh, that's hard. That's hard. Okay, let's reduce the number of rocks to add. Or do we just add more lanes to spread them out a bit more? That might make more sense. Also, did this not? Ah, because I had a typo. Okay. Yeah, let's just add yet more lanes. We're doing 40 each. I'm gonna get it right there. The 9. Yeah, that's the one. That's fine there. Player icon and rock. Huh. What am I looking at here? Oh. Right. I see, I see. How much does that move up? What does that move up by? Position 89, 64, 25. I mean, I guess that's fine. Okay, so now what's our start position is, we're gonna say 110. So we still have 30, 70, and now we add 150, 190 to our potential lanes. There we go. How's that one look? I immediately died. Uh-oh. What's she doing? What's she doing? It queued free. It's gone. It's been deleted. So it doesn't have a value. Ah. That would do it. So instead, silly way to do this. Okay, but it will work. It will work. Okay, mama. Oh, that needs to go way further to the left before getting deleted. And then also it's starting her out. Our current lane Y, yeah, is the wrong one. Okay, there we go. I think we got it. I think it's done just in time. You gotta think fast, though. Ow, 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 ow. See, she's gonna be particularly good against these guys because she can get under them and bypass their defense. That still feels like a little bit too think fast, you know? Slow it down. If it weren't for the first one, I think this would be okay. That might be a good shout. It's just, oops, not redraw. Always get rid of the first rock. The first rock is merely a placeholder. But then everything seemed to scoot. First one is here. Okay, hold on. Just for my benefit. All right, first one is here. Believe me. All right, come on. Yeah, hang on. What's going on here? Start X. No, we don't need that. We're looking at the rocks position dot X. Then we add a value. There are 4 rocks on there. If I take this out, then I should be back to 5 rocks. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Why is it that when I add this at the end here, am I going crazy? Am I going absolutely crazy here? I'm going to take a screenshot this time. Stop. Snag that. I don't like that she has to complete her journey even on a failure. Okay, so add rock cube free back. Now run it. What do we see? This is such a tiny piece. This game is so huge. It's gotten ridiculously out of control. Okay. Yeah. What? Why? Why? Doing rock equals somewhere? No, this should reference the initial rock. But it seems like it's almost like the reference to rock is, oh my gosh. Incredible. Incredible. Okay. Well, there you go. That was easy. We're gonna get a raid going. I'm gonna go see Small. There we go. Yeah, these guys could be absolutely devastating in hard mode, because that's 10 damage if you don't block it. Now, on their own, they're not too bad, though, because they can only hit front line. So if your front liner blocks, like puts on defense, and succeeds at the guard, then you're home free, and the back liner can just dole out damage. Like that. That's a very think fast little mini game we got going on there. Like, it's not hard, but you do have to be prepared for it. Like, the first time you will probably fail. All right, but there we go. It works. We have our first action command. It doesn't have... Our first move is done. It does not have sound yet. Probably the action command will be there. Bombs. Does this make sense? She's getting there. She's got to have bombs. I just don't get how the bombs are going to work. I don't want to just outright steal Bobbery's move, but I would like something like it. All right, let's get a raid going to small. One move done. Whole stream, one move. That does sound about right for these partner moves. Because it's the action command. They take a lot of extra work. An enemy move, not too bad. Once you need to actually start like drawing things on screen and adding player input and fail conditions and success conditions, and it does get a bit more involved, doesn't it? Anyway. I'm going to work on some of the desert areas off stream tomorrow. You won't get to see that for a while. And then we'll be back to figure out what to do with this attack on Wednesday. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciated the company, the discussion on game development stuff. It's always good. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Bye for now.